assistance. But it's the policy installation area. I will introduce myself in a moment, but I forgot that you probably none of you really know me. My name is Menachem Pichon. I'm a technology leader in Checkpoint, working here for almost 20 years. Responsible on the management area, and with the years I took areas that were weak and started to develop training on them in order to improve our support experience for the customers, also for the partners. So one of the areas that we decide to focus is policy installation. I think like in 2 weeks we have logging and monitoring. Yeah, it is in 2 weeks. Also an area that customer kind of it's a painful area. And if you guys have other area that you think that we should create partner trainings on them, I'm always welcome to take your feedback on it. Let me just get the latest book that I sent to Galit. All the material is on the SFTP that Galit provide you. And in a moment we'll start. So we're actually going to start from a scenario from not from the slide as usually people talks. Actually, we'll start looking at problems and how we have the option to approach them. So give me one moment. No, it's not the right slide. Here it is. We have a tool that called First Aid, and that we use it for support. I'm sharing my screen right now. It's a little bit old slide. It need to be rework. So this is where we're gonna start. So we're about to talk about policy installation. So if the First Aid works for people that doesn't know usually the effective way to access approach an issue. So I'm gonna focus today. So I go here. We have here a lot of the information about the management area. And so I go to debug scenarios, and our topic today is policy installation. And then we have full policy installation. That's the old, and it's not the legacy, but that's one way. And then we have the accelerated. So if you click here, you see all the process, and this is where we're going to start focusing today. It's before I go over the slide. I wanted to show you how it looks on an issue from the flow. So in policy installation, we have two sides. We have management, and we have gateway. And it's always a challenge to know where is the problem is. We have the management side and we have the gateway side. Actually, we can make it really easy to show you. But on the management side, we have if we decide to, there is some scenarios that we will use full install. One of them is like if you created a NAT, so it will automatically use full policy installation. The difference in between we will explain on the slide side, but I'm just gonna show you some, the troubleshooting flow and give you the purpose of this is to give you the tools to get at least or resolve the issues or get it to TAC that it's all cooked and no other information is.
Hello? Cannot hear him. Does anyone else?
Yeah, we lost him.
No, I don't hear him too. All right.
He said something about a critical incident. Might be that one.
Oh, I got dropped from some reason, LAN issue. Apologize in advance. So I'm back. So again, my name is Menachem, technology leader, Checkpoint management team, and today our focus will be on policy installation issues and how we can approach them. Just a question: how many of you are familiar with the policy installation debug scripts on the way? Okay. Any of you ever met the first aid?
No.
Okay, so we'll meet it right now. Share my screen. So as I explained and show you before, this slide is a little bit old, but we use it still. Well, just the date is old, but the material is getting updated every couple of weeks. So if you click home, it takes us back, and I went back in purpose. I go to debug scenarios, and our topic is policy installation. I click here on policy installation, and then I have the process that are involved. And we have here CPM is the process, the checkpoint management process, the main process that was introduced since R80X and above. Is the one that actually does the database dump from the Postgres database that holds all our objects and rules to file system. FWM load is doing the verification. FW loader is the one that do compilation, compile the policy to the language that the gateway will understand and transfer it to the gateway. On the gateway, CPD is the process that's responsible to receive the files and start the commit. The gateway kernel is the one that commit the inspections, and we'll talk more about it as we go. But that's the general processes that are involved. Now, usually if the files arrive to the gateway and we get an error, usually it's the problem on the gateway side. So we'll see that. And this is how we look at it. So first analysis. So you guys, I gave you an internal document. It's a PDF that was uploaded to the SFTP, and I'll show it to you in a moment. Give me a sec. Where is the folder for partners? Here it is. So when you get an error code, what I did is I copy for you, for the partners, error code, all the error codes that we have a list of error codes and what's debug need to be enabled there. So I give you an example, 233, sorry, 233. And here it is, like this is a content that and what's debug need to be enabled there. But we will show you how to use this list in order to know how to debug and get the information. So that's one. So when we get an issue, back to the first aid, I look for the error code in secure knowledge, and you guys looking at the PDF that we provided you to understand. We have it as internal wiki. You guys have it as a PDF. It's also attached here. You can just copy it. We check if there is a core file and continue. So let's say I found something, but how do I know that this is my solution or not? So first I wanted to identify if it's a gateway or management side. So I do ls-al, Usually if it's verification, compilation, internal error can be both sides. Those are verification, compilation are management side. If the files arrive to the gateway, like on the date here of the files, I see relevant date, then it means that's probably the issue is on the gateway. If anyone has any questions, stop me. Then how do I know? So I start in the gateway. So we says that the process on the gateway is CPM is it's one of the first one that we get that. How do I know that he finishes his work, that he actually complete the work? We have a log file called install policy.elg that will contain the word command full output. Let me just bring the lab environment that we will have. Each one of you also going to get an environment to work on it later on. Actually, I can share with you right now the link that you can play with together with me. I just have multiple classes running in the time. So we use CloudShare for the labs, and I will give you a link in a moment. Go here and get you the class link. So you can also open an environment like me. Put it in the chat. So just whoever, it will take time. So click it. That way you will have the environment available. So let's go back here on this. That's my VSX. There it is. So I'll go here. I log into, that's a Windows machine here. It's actually like each one of you receive like an ESX environment. Just use Proxmox. It's a open KVM.
Oh, we don't see that screen. At least I don't see.
Sorry. No, I'm sharing. Share screen too. You see this?
Now we see.
Yeah.
Okay. So I go back again. You guys don't see my screen, let me know. So you guys, I share with you a link. When you click, you're going to log in and you're going to see an environment like that. So in order for me to log in, I just open this. I connect to this Windows. And I have here each student receive like a Proxmox server for virtualization. And we have here a link for the jump server. This is all a VM that actually sits within this ESX. Give me a moment.
What do we use as an email? Student at checkpoint.com or what?
Your student. Your student. 1 second. I just need to. Yeah, all good. Your student email. You know. Yeah. And then here. I have this link. It's all in a moment. You'll see it. It's in the guide, in the lab guide for each one of you. So password here is VPN123. If I show you the lab guide, here it is. That's the lab guide for the policy installation. Give you the exact step by step. You know how to do everything. So I'm actually going to cover hands-on, and then we're gonna talk about the slides with the time we have. So here what we actually wanted to show you is the policy installation flow, and I actually talked about it here in the first aid. So how do I know that CPM finishes job? So in CPM, we're actually gonna follow the lab. That way you can do it if you want with me. In this lab, only thing need to be fixed is this thing. I did a mistake here. I did not copy this file. So So actually what we're going to do here is we're going to go step by step on the policy installation flow in the lab. And you can watch or you that. So here I ask you to go on the Smart Center and go into Lab 2 snapshot. You can see here I have snapshots of each environment. I'm doing a rollback. This is the Proxmox. To log into it, you have here the instructions. You're not expected to do it right now. You will have plenty of time to play with it later on in the day, but I'm going through it just to introduce the flow. If I needed, here I ask you to enable debug, but I'll just show you a general policy installation flow before, just as soon as we'll do the revert back. So if I wanted to know that CPM finish, I will look for this command output. If the error is verification or a compilation, I will have to, there's two options to do the debug way, okay? Actually, I will skip, with your permission, the first lab. I will leave it for the bottom. I will show you how we use the script because this is what you probably want to take. It's much more easier. I will teach all the manual stuff also. But if I needed to manually debug without the script, policy installation script, since R81, my policy files are being deleted every time I push the policy. We don't keep them on the server, so this parameter will allow them to stay there. Okay, and then after that, I will grab. This is assuming our issue is or verification or compilation. I will run a loop that will output the commands that ran on the system. Let's see how it looks like for us. I will actually, I'm here, so let's first connect. So the version that we are working is R8120. That's that's the lab we're having. Why it's not moving? Oh, it is moving. So I'm connecting to my management. Actually, I wanted to move to the first issue that we're going to have. This is this one. We will actually look at issues and think about together where is the problem. And after that, we're going to go through the slides. It's just much more easier. Start like that. Okay, so they're rolling back. So in a moment, you guys going to see really what I'm talking about. But this is a loop that will actually grab for the policy installation commands. And after that, I will extract this with this command. If I will see that my failure, and I will show you how to see, is in the FWM load, this means verification. If it's in the FW loader, it means compilation or transfer. This is all about the manual way. TAC needs to know the manual way. For you, I will show you the script and the manual, both sides. So if I need to debug verification, there is some stuff I need to do. Verification, for legacy verification that happens in the FWM load, we need to enable this command, export internal policy loading. Why? Because some of you in the past are familiar that in the past when we pushed the policy, we did FWM load. And today, FWM load is just part of the policy installation because we have the dump before from CPM. So by default, we are not allowing to just run the FWM load. Okay, so after I will enable that, I will be able to debug the verification error. Here I have to set the root dir because every time I push policy, I delete the temp files of the policy. So after we set before to keep them, I will have to set the relevant directory. Also, I will show it to you manually one by one. I'm just waiting for the environment to come up. So let's look at the issue that we have, and actually start to take what I'm talking to practice that way. I asked from in the lab instructions here that every lab that you log into, I'm skipping lab 1 in purpose, I will get back to it. That here I actually ask you to log in, this is the instructions, and log in with SuperPATI, that's adjusting the time. So, second. So SuperPATI has the sessions already pre-configured. About to move to MOBA, just so that's my management, that's my gateway. And let's look at the issue. And now let's take what we just talked until now to practice. So first, let's that thing connect. It's not doing really anything. Here it is. So I go here, install the standard policy. We're gonna see error. I will choose not to do acceleration. You see, that's by default. If it's eligible for acceleration, it will accelerate it automatically. If it's not eligible, but you can set it out here automatically, we'll explain what the difference. In acceleration, we don't do a dump of the whole objects again from the database. We save time pretty much because every time we do a publish, we actually do a small dump. And when we do accelerated, we are actually saving on all those dumps. If there is a change that will prevent acceleration, we'll have to do the dump again. So here we have an issue. Let's see. How do I know where is this issue? I get an error code. Okay? Error code from the gateway. So by the first aid, we actually, in order to, 99% when you get an error code from the gateway, it means that the files arrive to the gateway. For the sport, I will do ls-al $fwd state. This is where the files are landing at. TMP fw1. And we can see that files arrive to the gateway. So it means that probably the issue is the management passed the traffic, passed the files to the gateway. Something on the gateway failed. Okay, let's look at the error code. The error code says 23315. Okay, in a situation, actually I picked up, that's the first one I picked up. The problem can be or in the user mode or in the kernel mode. Okay, what does it tell me? Nothing. In a moment, I will show you what does it tell you. But there is another important file that you guys need to be familiar with. On the gateway itself, when we, in the directory, in the temp directory, those files when they arrive from the management, they are landed on the temp, and after that, they are being copied to the local. Here in this temp directory, we have a file called install policy report.txt. Okay, this file actually is very important when you collect your data in a case that your policy failed on the gateway, because it tells us which /search for error. It tells us which function in the code failed. Here is the error code. See, it's actually also referred by the PDF that you received. It tells me that something in DLP user.c is problematic. Okay, so Menachem, how do I that? So we understand that the problem is on the gateway. All clear, am I right? And now, how do I debug it? also in the PDF and also in the fail state. If you go up to the top, there is two debug instructions. For user mode, this is what you need to take. You run the relevant recommended flag. And for kernel mode, this is what you need and the recommended kernel flag. Okay, so the recommended flag that we had here were this: export, all engine, blah, blah, blah. The problem looks to be in somewhere in the DLP. And here we have the kernel debug for the DLP. I will start with the user mode. Why? Because kernel debug can sometimes load, if you debug traffic, it can load the machine. But here is the flags. I just copy them and put them. And then I will go here to the debug instructions. Here it is. It tells me also bring the install policy ELG. And I tell him to take this. I created almost every scenario that you can meet in the market today on the gateways. So this is the file that we got. Now, how do I know what to search in this thing? I log in to the file. Usually I go Shift G to the bottom. Question mark, error. And I can see, how do I know that this is the relevant error? Because before the first error, go up more. So first I can see policy installation failed. So it's something related to me. Next, I want to know the code is telling me something about signature in the DLP database. FYI, I assume like there is no such an SK, but you will see that if you search for this error, there is an SK that leads you to multiple scenarios. 1 second, I need one below. Where are we? Here it is. So you can see that before that, everything was still fine. No errors. The error started here, everything was still working. The error still says, and it says DLP.c is missing, failed to read, doesn't exist. That's the cause of this issue. Now, as we are approaching it, if I go as we says in the first stage, I will put just go here, so support center. I will put the error code in the support center. See what kind it sometimes brings me more than one SK. And what was the error code here? Control C about that. Put it here. And here's how many of you are familiar with this SK? So actually, this is something I created for you specifically as I moved those two files, but you have here, you will see later on that we have multiple scenarios at some scenarios. So here, if you look, you will see that those files are missing. So again, we looked at if we look back to the first state, that's kind of the easy scenario. I get gateway side. Now it's transfer. Transfer usually means that 18191 is broken. We cannot connect. So I do telnet and all stuff. We also going to see if it's gateway commit, then I tell you to refer to the error code page, get the install policy.txt, and search for get the debug to checkpoint. Sometimes you can find already the root cause in the debug and find the relevant SK that will help you to resolve it. Is that clear? Anyone has questions? I'm going through the scenarios in purpose, and after that I will put all the theoretical material in place. You will see that it's actually making sense. Can we go to the next scenario?
Yes.
Sure. I just need some acknowledgement. Thank you. So the next scenario, as I back to I just there were some that were outdated and not relevant, so I just cut them. They were like kind of 1, 2, 3. And I try only to bring you the relevant. You can see the date that those snapshots were taken like 2 weeks ago. So. Reverting. When we talk about management issues, there is the script that I will introduce it to you in a moment. We will do both ways, manual way and automatic way. Automatic way I will show you at the beginning. Manual way I will show you later on, because I think most of you will probably want to will do the automatic way. Okay, close this. And open the SMC. The gateway is still reverting. Again, I teach the way to get to solution and not the solution itself. I teach that. I tell that to students. The method is what I care. You just see why this guy is not responding to me. Sometimes when you do revert, because of the drivers, he might panic. So I just might give him another revert if he's not responding nice. Still, in the end of the day, this is virtualization that we're talking about. So if I look here, until the gateway will come back, you can see that I had a policy installation failure. Also in the kernel, what happened here? Everything went ballistic on me. Okay, so here I got another error code. That's what it looks like. And oh, I apologize. My apology. I took you to I revert to the wrong policy installation. I went by the snapshot and I didn't took you to the relevant. Sorry, my apologize. I revert to the wrong snapshot. That's why I get those errors. I'm like, this is not what I planned for the folks. So I go here to 9. Sorry, in advance. That's the second scenario that we're supposed to meet. Sorry. So while the time is this is going, so if we look until it will get, so if we had to debug verification, so of course after we set the files, we're gonna run the loop if we go into the manual way, and the awk to extract the failure command that will show you how to use it. If we had to debug compilation, compilation is when you get like IPv6 flavor failed to compile and all those nice errors that we will meet them here also. So I had to go do the same, keep the files, the temporary files with this flag, and don't forget to turn it off, because if not, it will run out of your space. I will use the loop that you're gonna see in a moment and extract the command that failed. Also, I will have to enable this just to understand why, in order to be able to run the command. Usually it's an FW loader command that fails, and it will require you to run this. Here is, you can see the command that I run is like the FW loader command and output it to a file. So it's still rolling back. The 5. Still rolling back. So I'm going to actually start going over the material because I don't want to waste any of your minutes. In the general PowerPoint, we have general overview flow. Some of them we're not going to touch because those are irrelevant for you today. Managing 7x gateway, no one else is using this. So I just do it hide first. I was supposed to take them off at all. But this is the flow of managing R80X, managing R80X gateway. So we have the initiation. Here we are checking permissions that we are allowed to install policy. Then we have modern conversion and database legacy dump. This is actually, we're taking everything from our checkpoint database, the Postgres database, and dump it to the file system. We have the modern, that's another portion that we are actually dumping files, dumping objects to files. Here we are converting and doing the verification, actually converting into a language that the management know how to verify the set of rules. At that point, there is a situation that we actually restart FWM because the memory of FWM right now it's a 32-bit process, so it means 4 gig of RAM, and so we save all the state of all of his work to a text file, and then we re-execute it back. Then FW loader start to do the compilation to the gateway language and do the transfer. CPTA is checkpoint protocol transfer agent. That's actually the FWM process talks to CPD on port 18191. And then the files arrive to the gateway, starting the commit. CPD is the one that actually trigger the commit. And then we have the finalization. Finalization is the process that the gateway respond back, hey, policy was installed on me, install the objects in the database. Here is what I just explained it to you written. So initiation, check for smart gold console. If it's a management API, verification of the system settings, we are verifying it's being done by CPM that we do have permissions to push the policy. Legacy dumps is the database process that we are actually converting objects from Postgres format to file systems. Modern conversion is another process that we actually take new objects of the new policies that we created in the past. We actually converted legacy objects to new. It's part of the dump. Then we have modern dump still by CPM. Conversion and verification, that's the FWM load. Re-execution, that's releasing the memory. Everything written. And then we have FW loader compile all the files. A lot of people asking me, those files are still relevant? No, they are not. Those are just product of the what we get out of the database. Someone edit the objects 504 and says my edit is not holding. I told him because since we are pushing it from Postgres, this is just one step before being a policy. Transfer to the gateway, and in the end, the finalization trigger an FWM DB load. Probably all this not tell you a lot, but now let's look here. So it's finished the revert. SMC1. Connect to the smart center. So what is the policy installation script? Where can I find it? So it's under $FWD script, and it's called policy in debug.sh. If you just do -h, see that you have 3 different options. The one that I recommend you to use, this is actually you have to here you say it's for setting kernel debug on the gateway. I at least less use that. My management team is using this one, and we use the -o always. Every time I collect a debug, I use the -o because it gives me information that if I didn't run the -o, I have to run the script again. So I ask them to. So if here we look at, I want to show you the error. The error is a little bit unclear in purpose. See, first threat prevention policy was able to install successfully. The second one is we get operation ended with errors. Do we know where the problem is at? It's not telling me verification, don't tell me a gateway error. We don't know. So here we really have to go check. So that's why the purpose I did that. I will run the script while policy, the script, it will give us one debug output, and then I will show you the manual. So if I wanted to run the script, I dash it with run -o. It tells me what you want to install. I want to troubleshoot policy installation. Okay. Now, what policy installation is failing? Network security. Okay. Now it's checking which policy I have. The one that is failing is standard. Okay, detecting the gateway. I tell him this is the gateway I have. I want to install it on. And now he's doing the policy installation, and he's running all the debug for you automatically. So it means you don't have to, except for running the script, you don't have to worry about anything. Okay? Now, this is assuming if I skip one step that I wanted to know if this issue is a management or gateway issue. So when I'm getting the failure, I will want to run this. FW1 just to see when the time that the policy was pushed, and you can see nothing was pushed today. Okay, today is September 4th from the system point of view, so nothing was pushed today. So it means that the issue is on the management side. The management side, that's why we run the script for. Okay, the script gave me an output. I'm moving it to the home directory. Oops. Okay. So now that our XVF, just because I didn't put on my jump box, I didn't put I'll copy the folder. If you go here and you want to copy something to your machine, you do WinSCP. I put it in the super putty. And now we'll show you how we cover the files. So I have this here. I have some older garbage that I ran before. I'll just remove them just not to have anything else. Yeah. Okay, now I copy this. This is my folder that I just extract in purpose on the management. This is our folder from today. So I wanted to know if CPM finishes job. Skip. How do I know it? If he finishes job or not? There's an easier way to do it, but if I go here, and we're supposed to search for command full output in our time frame. So command in the current document. Oops, the current document, not all open document. Command. I go to our timestamp. You can see that the date here is a little bit. Let's see what's my date. Date September 4th. So it's not even containing my date. One sec. I'm looking at the install policy.tlg and time. Did I log into the? I think what happens there, this is what I should search in. I think what happened is because I'll show you. Because I didn't log in with the SSH, it didn't adjust the time. But I will just show you the easiest way. Tail -f $fwdir log install policy elg pipe grep -I command. So I'm going to just do this for a second. Install policy from here. And oops, it didn't like this. You see command full output, it means that he finished, from his point is 0 point. He just finished so CPM finished his job. Okay? We all in agreement about that? For some reason the time was not displayed correctly in the file. Okay? So CPM finishes job. Next thing after is so if I know CPM's finish, I know I can suspect or FWM or FW loader. Why? Because it's or verification or compilation. So what I will do here, I will go back and you can see that this file FWM load is also contain me the FW loader and the FWM load together. And you can see here that the date is correct from right. That's the last time we ran the policy installation. And here, what I will do is I will search for error or fail. Error. I can search for the error that we have in the Smart Console. You see, this is irrelevant. So usually what I will do is I will go here to the Smart Console and take the error we have here. Operation ended with one sec. Just dump it here. So it says operation ended with errors. I just search this. Here it is. Operation ended with errors. Okay. And now if I go up a little bit, you can see that we have here registry file is corrupted or does not exist. I go above here and I see that it comes back. Could not found registry, blah, blah, blah. Flash, I will search for this, see how many times it repeats. And you can see who is doing it. Is FW loader is the one that is actually complaining. You see, we have here FWM load, and so it means that the problem was failed on the compilation. FW loader is the one that actually changed that actually compiled the policy. So from here we can understand that it's a compilation error. I just want to see how many of those I have. So if we search for an SK, we will find a resolution, but we can understand that something is broken with the registry. Is that clear from here? Okay, let's go look at our registry for a second. So the problem here, if I go by the flow, I did it automatically. I'll show it to you how I do it manually also. I do it one time manually. If anyone else wants more, I will show more. But if I go to the registry is under here, ls-al $cpdir registry. So first you can see here something is bad happening here. All to stamp registry, it means that there is a corruption in the registry. I mean, the process is trying to accessing it and it's not able. Something that user should not do is the LSATTR registry. Sorry. If you search for an SK, we found that the reason that he is not able to, I looked at LSATTR. LSLTTR, not. See, the registry file is locked. And someone by mistake try to lock files on the system like customers do, lock their master files. They don't want it, they want to do manual settings that in R82 we're able to actually give them a solution for that, not to override the master files, or there is a GUI DB edit features, but they tend to lock files. So this one, we can see that the registry is corrupted. I want to check. I will try to do VI on the registry to see if it's corrupted or not. If I see that the registry look like okay, what does it mean okay? I don't have here like weird characters like a Q or anything, like not numbers, should be only one and numbers. If I see it, then I suspect that maybe the file is integrity or locked. So if you look for an SK on that, if we go by I in purpose not going to search for any error, all the errors, but by the first aid, when we instruct the engineer, is I ask him to go first, look for, if it's an error code, go to the error code page. If it's a SK, if you have an error, search for the error in secure knowledge, see what you find. Also take debug, because the debug will actually point you directly that this SK is okay. I don't want engineers or partners to give SKs as, we are not SK kids. We need to find how to point to the right, how to troubleshoot correctly and find the root cause of the problem. And what I'm trying to say is that the way to get to the solution is what I care, and not the solution this specifically. Is that okay? Do you want to see a manual troubleshooting of this thing, just to know a little bit in advance?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So the manual way is due to the fact that files are being deleted under the, if I will show you what do I mean files are being deleted first. So there is a loop that here in the first aid. The loop, let me just make sure that this file is not exist first. rm cd to this, rm load, fine. Now we'll run the loop. The loop actually search, if I know CPM finish, the loop actually will grab me all the load commands that are running in the system. I do it like that, and I go install policy. Beautiful, failed. No, he actually didn't try what I wanted him to. You see, he gave me a different error. So I will do it without acceleration. Give me a second. Run it again. Give me an error that is not the real error. Problem that, run a non-accelerated. Sorry. After the loop will finish, I will show you this. I run this awk script that actually takes and extract the commands. The way we read these commands, this is the beginning, that's the end. Okay? You can see that the last thing that happened is core uploader. It means a process crash. Okay? Here is, you can see that this is the AMW loader. that actually this is the threat prevention compilation and transfer. That's when successful. This is the FW loader that was running. This is the policy name file. We actually compiled it from W to PF. And after that, we saw a crash. So this I know for a fact that complete, because this is the threat prevention. AMW loader represents the threat prevention. FW loader access policy. And after that, we finished. See here, there was no commands like dbload or anything like that. So I suspect that this is the command I have to troubleshoot. Okay, so far so good. I start from the beginning, go to the top. Okay, now if I take this command, try to run it, look what I get. It tells me that no such a file of directory. This is a temp directory that was created every policy installation. By default, since R81, we remove these files. See, it only has this kind of a directory, not this. How do I save those files? Again, in the script does it for you automatically. As I explained before, the script does it for you automatically. I just copy it from here. When you run the script, everything is done. Say run the environment variable, the parameters, everything automatically. So I run this. This actually tells don't delete those temp directory after a policy installation. Second, I think I've missed a point because we got into there you go. Give me a moment. Copy it not correctly. Mr. Chupchik, as we say. Setting the environment variable. Don't worry, you have the first aid in the FTP. I think you all know that. It will take a couple of seconds. Here it is, finished. Okay, so now the files will not be deleted. I will run the load command again. We'll export the second rm load. And actually, it will get me a new this. And install policy again. Make sure it's not accelerated. Finished. So if I look right now, using the oak, I get here different directory number. Okay. If I look by the instruction says if I will just run this, you will get an error that is irrelated to what we are trying to achieve. So just show you that. See, first it tells me you need to run this links.c. So on the first aid, export links.c. This is when the issue is compilation. We'll see that it actually died a little bit before in a moment. So run it again. Then it tells me something about IPS. Why this is, when you see this, make sure be aware that you're sometimes not in the right direction. Why? Because there is a thing says that I need to set export root dir. What does it mean, this export root dir? The export root dir is actually tells the management that I am right now debugging an old policy installation. And so I need you to point to that directory as the directory for the troubleshooting. My root dir is this. Is all this. Oops. Okay, so that's my root dir. Now if I will run it, it crashed, died on me. Didn't even give me a, that's what it did the same. This is actually a little bit complicated. So I do export TDR all of 5. I don't see anything, so I ask him to output more. Okay, beautiful. So now it tells me that registry could not be flash. We get the error that we got, and you can see that this is the FW loader. Okay, the same way, just a little bit different way. The reason you need to know I will do the manual only on one more point is just because sometimes the script does not detect your problem, and then only the manual pray. But 99% of the situation, the script does detect your problem, and you would want to use the script. Now, one thing we need to remember is how to turn off everything. Because if you don't turn off, every policy installation will cause another directory to happen. So you have to take this and make sure it's running. Oops. So turning this off, and then unset TDR all of 5 and unset links.c. Is that clear? You guys want 5 minutes break? I will revert to snapshot, to the next snapshot back. While you come back, it will be already prepared for you.
Okay, 5 minutes. Okay.
Yeah, this we did. Okay. Yeah, I'll do next one here. 5 minutes.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Was the first one I met, the 233 on the gateway side. This is the next one. Next one, you can see operation was unsuccessful. Okay. That's that's operation ended with. One of them was the other one was operation ended with errors, and this one was operation unsuccessfully. That's what we met before. It's that the operation ended. Screenshot I need to fix. Give me a moment. I will get you one. I gave Galit the wrong one. 1 second. Just a screenshot. The first one was operation ended with errors. This one is operation was unsuccessful. Okay. So if we go here and look at the environment, I will fix the document for you. So if we look at with the flow, we will first want to know if it's a gateway side or management side by the first day. So if I wanted to know if it's a gateway or management side. And someone I hear myself duplicating. So
Yeah, I think Martin is an echo.
okay,
Yeah,
now
exactly.
I put him on mute by mistake. Not by mistake, in purpose. So We want to know if it's a gateway side or management side. So let's look at try to push the policy. Just make sure that I'm not mistaken on the arrow. Yeah, so this operation was unsuccessfully. The other one was operation ended with error. Let's see. What is the issue? So if I do that, this is also not really clear where the problem is at. And that's why I brought those scenarios at the beginning to show something that is not clear. When the gateway error, it's clear that you get an error code from the gateway. It's really clear that the problem is on the gateway. So, and we will see also problems that are on the transfer. So what a beauty. It went successfully. You know why it went successfully? Because of this. It went successfully. I will show you why it's now how it won't go successfully. As I explained you before, when you do a policy installation, here the change was done back ago, so we already did multiple changes that causing us to be eligible for accelerated policy. So we'll see that. So now we get the failure. Okay. So we want to see if it's a gateway or management. So I do ls-al $fwdir state _ tmp fw1, and I don't see anything arrive to the gateway today. Then before 0042, we are in 0043. I'll go one step back. This was fw1 0042. That's the one that I did accelerated, was in 42. The one we just push right now is around 43. So the issue is management side. I will just push again just to make sure that I'm not mistaking. I do it again. Install policy. How you guys want to troubleshoot it? Scripting or manually? You tell me.
We can try the script first.
For me, it's scripting, yeah, because I would do it also with a script.
So you can see that the last time was 42, so the policy is not being pushed to the gateway. So I'll go with the script. $fwdir script install policy. No, it's policy install. Sorry. Policy install the -o. Yes. Install policy. Access. Standard. I'm already cleaning up my download. Opening the WinSCP. I'll move that to my directory. So if we just look for a second on the files, we'll save some time. pwd cd to install, what was it, policy. So if I want to look at I will look at the logs. And I do vi install policy.tlg. And I will search for, or I do grep for command full output. Grep -i command. You can see that we have at 44 command full output. This is where I did the last policy output. So it means CPM finishes role. Am I right? From what we learned. Now I have a lot of information that I get out of here, but I will go. So if CPM finish, it means or FWM or FW loader. So I am actually choosing to look at this guy for a second via here. I can do two things. I can do VI or I'll go with VI. Okay, Shift G. We can see that it's a loader that actually complained. That's where the operation unsuccessful, and it tells you exactly VPN route.conf. Usually this ticket, I will tell you how does it start. Customer call, I delete a gateway for my smart console, and now I can't install a policy. That's where the ticket looks like. Why is the ticket looks like that? Because he added this gateway in his VPN route.conf. And he was not aware about it or something like that. And he is looking for this gateway, but this gateway is no longer exist. And then the policy fails. So that's the fastest way to find it and the easiest. 99% of your stuff you will see through here. If I see a situation that I would be insisting on taking the debug manually, I will tell you. I guess we will work with the scripts. Am I right? For right now, all of you are good with the script? Okay. So we find that.
Yeah.
Can
So
I
now,
ask a question?
Sure.
Is the policy install script per default in the R81.20?
Yes. Also in R81.10.
In R82 it's not?
Why R82 is not?
That's a question.
No, it
Because
should be there.
Should be there. Okay.
You might be using an EA or something like that by chance?
I am.
Might be it was not
Okay. Yeah.
in the GA. It should be part of it.
All right.
Okay. You gave me a good point to check. Thank you.
All right.
I will actually raise up a flag to someone that in QA to make sure that they integrate it.
All right. Thanks.
So, but thank you. So this is clear, am I right? I can go to the next one. How do we fix it? Now this is important. I do /name vpnroute.conf. You'll see that we have a multiple. Now it all depends on which gateway you're pushing your policy right now. See, here is in the temp directory. Let's that the CMP. It's backward compatibility directories. Those are for lower versions of the gateways. Like if we have our 8040, even though it's end of life, you can see that we are supporting here 8040, 77, not really supported, super end of life. Until on 7540, we have compatibility packages that we did not took out. The one that if we are pushing for R81 and above, we're using this thing. So this is the one that I will want to fix. Any changes that you do, like in def files, you need to know where is like editing def files. You have to do it in the right compatibility package. So if you're using backward gateway that is lower than R81, R8120, it will be using a compatibility package. You can see the line that breaks my stuff. Now I came to the customer. What is this guy? I don't know. So I tell him, go find someone who knows if you are using this, because he had another network object that was not here, not exist. But in the end of the day, it was like this. Okay, this resolves your issue. You'll be able to play with it in the lab later. Next one. This is a gateway site, but this is a gateway site that gives you that takes us to practice a little bit kernel debug. So I will revert back to it. What is the snapshot name that I want to do a mistake? 4. So go back here, roll back. Yes. Okay, we'll continue with the slides. Just not to waste time. So we talked about the flow. Now we're gonna talk about next process is the accelerated flow. What is the difference? Accelerated flow, actually, we took a lot of the verification that we used FWM and loader to compile, and we moved it to be validations, meaning every time, instead of doing dump only when I do the policy installation, every time I do a publish, I dump the object and convert it to the language that the gateway understands. This actually been done. It's saving us time when I click from the time I click the install policy until the time the policy gets down to the gateway, because I did all the management side conversions and dumps and everything behind the scenes, so you don't need to worry about it. And the process is initiation, CPM, Java conversion. If there are objects that you just created right now, we need to, and you push install policy without the publish, you actually need to do conversion from Java to files. There is a new process that was introduced called RHR. RHR is actually doing the verification of the new process. It's a Java process that writes directly by default to this file. We'll look at it later on. Transfer is still being done by FW loader. So it means that what is it? It means that FW loader is not doing anything for me from compilation point of view. And finalization, like always, it will be the FWMD below. Compatibility package, we just talked about them. That's the next topic. Compatibility packages are being used for lower version security gateways. Why it's important for us to know? It's because if our customers want to do a manual def file changes and for inspect settings, we'll have to do it in the relevant compatibility package. Transfer. What port we use to, we transfer our stuff over SIG, of course, but we use port 18191. If the port is blocked or SIG is broken, this is a custom, I will try to create like a custom scenario for you here, like as a bonus, as we say. You will see that you will get TCP connectivity. Or you know those customers that you probably like it, that they uncheck the accept control connection on the gateway and push policy, and then you are like, I can't do anything about it. I need you to unload the policy. And so that's traffic, most of the issue. Let's see if the scenario came back already. Yeah, it finished. Management, what is your issue? Sometimes you see it gets stuck, and if you got to this point in the lab, just roll back again. Wow, what happened to me? Okay, it's back. So in this scenario, I think, I'm not almost sure that I'm not remembering by heart, we will introduce the situation that we have a need to take a kernel debug. Okay, and I will show you how to take it. Let's continue with the slide until this thing connects. Ah, actually it's connecting. Install policy. So the error is this, okay, and 99% coming from the gateway, because this it means that the policy arrived to the gateway. Gateway tried to install and receive an error. Let's look for a moment on the file called install policy.exe. So first I do ls-el just to make sure I'm not hallucinating. fw state _ tmp and fw1, that's the one. So we do have files that arrived. If I search here for error, we can see that it's atom.c, fw atom. This is atomic load. That's where we actually forcing the policy. And you can see kernel prepare start, and this is where it fails. And here we can see fw atomic load prepare, fwk global setting failed. Okay, so if we take this error number, copy it to our PDF, tells me to take a kernel debug with filter. How do I do it? So go here on my notepad and do this. We have it in the first state, or we have it here. So here, the buffer will set automatically to 8096 because they updated it. So this actually disable any kind of debugs that exist. This actually sets the buffer. It was changed. You cannot no longer set it to 32,000. You'll see that automatically will give me the maximum that the system allow. And after that, this is the relevant kernel debug that I wanted to, here is what I want to take. In Perispace, I'm not running it like that, I'm running it like this. So, go here. This is just outputting fetch -d. It actually tells me, re-pull the policy that you brought to my temp directory. That's pretty much what it tells. Okay, copy this and go to the gateway. On the gateway itself, of course, if your gateway is running 100% or 90% CPU, I will not recommend to do it. If it's running 70, it's not going to harm. Let's say that if you know that a general policy installation does not cause you an outage, this will be, if you know that if you install policy and traffic start dropping on that particular gateway, you will not do it in the middle of production. You will do it in the evening time. Okay? It's not like a kernel debug in a policy installation. It's not like a traffic debug that we actually really loading the gateway too much. So I ask him to run debug, and then I decide to do the fetch. Finish. FG just for the one for this, and I'm going to look in this guy. Shift G, take me to the bottom, and I will search for fail. I can pretty much tell you that I can look at the install policy txt and tell you take exactly to the failure. But here is the first failure. Here is the second one. Here it is, error install policy blah 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 failed. Error FWK install policy failed. And here it tells me FW atomic prepare load prepare. This is what we saw in the txt, and it tells me about parameter stack size is 1. Param should be smaller than 10,024. So if we look in an SK, we found that there is a parameter here that was I planned for you here that actually this need to be set to a different number. Let me just go get the smart console for a second for you. But the purpose of that lab is for you to understand also how to practice kernel debug and how to look at it. So far, so good.
Yep, all good.
For some reason, my environment is just froze on me. A moment. Okay. Okay, yeah, decide to crash. When you do the lab, you'll see that there is an SK on that. If you search for it, it will take you directly there to resolve it. I go to the next one with your permission. What is the next one? That's a nice one. Compilation error. Fine. Well back. Actually, this one is a little bit challenging because this one doesn't have there is an SK, but the answer is not clear. Meaning, you will see what I mean in a moment. You want it scripted or you want it or manual?
Might as well go manual this time.
Manual this time. Very good. Good choice.
Switch it up a bit.
That's all good. Let's open. This is actually a good fit because I will be able to for a manual one. One sec. Because the script here will not tell you the you will have to understand the answer by yourself. Not it's not going to be clear really. One sec. Again, this management server don't want to roll back. Ask him to go here. One moment with your. I'm just putting myself on mute for a moment. Just because sometimes they are looking for me for this critical thing that is going, so I just have to see calling. I'm just answering for a moment. Apologize in advance. Okay. That should be finished. Yeah, finished. Until this logs in, next step after is the gateway side. In the slide here, gateway side. So files, when they land under fwdir state _ temp fw1. When they finish, they are being copied to the local. During that, we have a file called localdb updb SQLite. This is like the database of the rules that are being created. The way they are being created is we have all those kind of files that are being created, like UDP protocols, UDP gateways, SIG names, and all together they are being binded into this small SQL file that is running on the gateway. Okay, and this is pretty much our decision engine. So if you open it with SQL browser, you might see the rules. Someone asks, so how come you have like a small database on the gateway? Usually, if someone connects to your gateway, you are kind of game over. So it's supposed to be protecting your gateway. What do we don't, in the past, people would do fetch from the management. Today, fetch from the management is less relevant because if you didn't do the last dump from your Postgres, you're actually fetching an old policy with the files that were dumped. So we most of the time will do push. Fetch locally, it means when I did the fetch local for the debug, it means I took what the management sent me last time and tried to understand why it failed. In the past, we would get this. You probably all know that would be the most painful. You don't know what is broken, and this is the ugliest message. So then we start to come with this message error code that we know which debug to enable, because here it's the range of debug that can enable was very large, and try to get you as much as verbose messages as possible. And the file that I talked that is telling us the exact function that it fails in the code is this one, is the install policy report. Also, I will teach you, a lot of your customers complain that it takes too much time to install policy, am I right? So we have in the policy debug script debug slow policy installation. Okay, and I will show you how to read it and understand where is the gap. And let's see if the lab went back. Yeah, the lab is up. I try to facilitate the topics in between. Okay, install policy. So what did it fail on? Very nice. And in the end, it tells you compilation error IPv6 flavor. So in general, you can usually in the compilation, you can see what is complaining at. But even if I go into those files, I won't find except from this. This will be the clue what I have that. But I will go through manual debugging purpose just to showing you the way, because the solution I don't care, as I explained before. Two options. I will take both of them. I will do the scripts for you. The reason is just to show you later on how the debug output show there. And here I will show you actually if I would then investigate a different case. Both of them will lead me to the same thing, but just to, here is the investigation is important. So, policy install -o. Wrong. 2, 1. This is once. He's copying. He finished. I go to the manual way. Manual way, and this is for other issues, and I will show you. I will try to bring you like one that really I had like lately. 1 second. Give me 1 second. I'm just giving you a real case that is that was open. I'm just looking for the person that sent. Here it is. Let's put that on Notepad. That's what the customer get. He get error in this destroy. So we actually looked. What is this? And we got this. Give me a second. It took me somewhere here in the PF file, in the W file. So non-VPN traffic rules function. So this is enough for me to come to a CFG. This is what I will show you how did I get to this exact line or to the line in the PF that I then tell me where is the issue. So let's go to our issue for a second. Let's do the manual way. So manual way first, we need to, if it's a compilation error, so I go by the first stage, Shift 5. Compilation debug. I need to first make sure that the files are being saved. Am I right? So I do this, copy. This once. Next after is I need to get push the policy and run the while loop. Waiting for this guy to finish. Got it. Okay. So now we'll run the while loop. Let me just make sure that there is no load file. Run it. Install policy. We know it's failed on compilation, but I need to get the exact command in order to troubleshoot. Install policy, next. So in the other ticket that you saw, I would go and look in the exclusion of VPN traffic, probably, or open a task to CFG. That's also accepted. So now I do Control C. I take the oak to extract the relevant command from the okay, I can see AMW loader went successfully. The problem that I have is with the access. AMW loader is the threat prevention. So this is the command that I want to troubleshoot. Why? Because we start from the bottom, go to the top. That will be the last one. Is that clear? Okay. So I'm going to try to run this. And it will tell me, hey, I need this guy. I don't like you without this parameter. So I go copy this also. Okay. Run it again. Hey, you are failed to read the rule file. You are kind of doing something here. Let's see that we have this directory. We should have it. --l, because we saved it. You know why is not letting me? Who knows? Who remember? Oh,
Yeah, we have to set another environment variable
very
who's
good.
pointing to the directory.
See, the directories exist. It's just we're not pointing it. You're right. Thank you very much. I did it in just to make sure that everyone. I know you guys are with me, but just to make it more interesting. So I take this, and that's my directory. Now, I will try to run the command again. And then it gives me something that it takes me to this. So this is kind of the end of the story of that. Now I need to know what is this guy. So I go to this file. I want to know what is this guy is doing. So I do vi, and I think the line number is, how do you put it? I think you do it like that. 3082. No, sorry. It's going. Sorry, guys. You guys are with me?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we have some LAN issues internally, so that dumps me out of the network. So it's more a laptop issue. So I'm right now on this file, and I put in the line number 3082.
Can you share screen again, please?
Oh, thank you. Sorry, I apologize. I'm like continuing working like I never left. So this should take me to the line. Sorry. Should be in the back end of the line, I think. So vi, that's the file. I think it's like this. There's 082. Here it is. So it took me, no, it didn't took me to the line. I forgot how to do it. Give me a second. It's vi, that's the file. I'm just trying to think how to get to the line number. Sorry, that's the standard PF, yeah. Standard PF, vi. Okay. Just I'll just put this. There is a way to get directly. I just forgot how to put need to search in Google, but here it is. It took me here.
Once you're inside VI, you can type the line number and then Shift G.
So let's say, wait. There's also option to do it from the outside, like you say it here. 3082.
I give the command
Yeah.
in the chat.
Yeah, it took me also. Thank you very much. Yeah, VI plus number. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much. So I just forgot it. So anyway, we can see that it talks about something with GTP match, and this is the kind of the investigation that again there is an SK on it that will give you the solution. But when you see something like that, like I showed you before, like VPN exclude services, like we had here, that's what you probably need to be focused. So if I'll go here and just search for in the Smart Console for GTP. If I go to objects and just type in GTP. GTP is it's a protocol for firewall for a carrier firewall, like cellular, you know, all the cellular traffic. So that's what it is. This is an inspection for it. Let me just go here. So it tells me path match, GTP path match 1. That's what he's complaining on. So if I go here, and I see here GTP path match version 1. Okay. So if I do where use for this thing, it will tell me, hey, I'm in this service group. Now, since my firewall is not having this service enabled, that's what's actually preventing me from installing the policy. So if we look again in the PF itself.
Sorry. My
Yeah.
colleague Clement cannot join. He get kicked out and now he can join back.
To the Zoom?
Yes.
Why is not able to join to the Zoom? I didn't. Wow.
He get disconnected and now he write me that he can't join back.
Give me a second. 1 second. I'm calling someone that can assist. So I put myself on mute. Give me a moment. He gets kicked back out of the Zoom. That's what he gets.
Yeah, he get disconnected and
Okay.
he cannot join back.
1 second. I was trying to find the Zoom settings. I don't have a room. It's like just a meeting.
Okay, I'll tell you.
Okay, I'm back. Okay.
Oh,
He's back.
Okay,
Thank
so
you.
it's not me. I start to. So here we can see that we have a version 1 path match. Okay, so I search for it and there is a service here. That's kind of that's more about the investigation, and I see that GTP version 1 path management, okay, is here. And what we actually get the complaint is we're getting it on the handler. See, this is GTP path match V1. That's what we get in the service. So the investigation was pretty much leading us to the PA inside the PF. And here I try to understand, what does he want from me? You know, what this is related. The same as what I show you here. If I have a problem and I get this, so at that point, I'm not expecting you to resolve it. What at the situation, what I expect from you is to get a migrate export to TAC, since it's a management issue. Migrate export CP info, CPM doctor, give it to them, replicate. This is the error we get. It's a compilation error. That's what you need from your point of view, and TAC should know how to handle it. you know, sometimes it's above, even like in this one specifically, it's above my head also, because there is like something in the inspection, in his inspection file. So what there is exclude something that, so we actually open a task in front of programmers to go ahead in the source code and tell me what exactly. Okay. So we go to the next one with your permission. We wanted to look how the scripts actually brought us this information just for a moment. It will take us. So if I go here, I think it will be the same. So ls pwd ls var xvzf. I didn't copy the directory. Where did he dump it? I don't find the script will probably, the FWM load will show you the exact thing like that. I just don't find where it will actually show you that it's a loader as we saw before, and it will give you those errors, and then we will go and look in the PF by it ourselves. So with your permission, I will continue. Next one is this. I will show you two. Here I will try to create a bonus, issue 6. What do you guys think that happens here? 18191. This is transfer situation. I've seen that a customer was complaining about that the certificate is, we would receive that the certificate was broken, meaning someone is opening our SSL try to open our SSL communication in the middle, and then the gateway will feel that SIG is broken because the integrity of the packet was changed, and it will stop the policy installation by a problem with SIG. Checking the TCP dump, I would see that there is packets without the same sequence number, so it means that there was a firewall in the middle that was intercepting the traffic and was causing this. I won't tell you the name of a vendor or anything like that, but there was a firewall in the middle that was or fragmenting or trying to transfer my transformation for my packets in the middle. Try to do changes there. So that sometimes happens. And this one will be simple for you, I think. You tell me how you want to approach that. 1 sec. So the error is 18191. How do you know if we have connectivity in place or not? What will be the easiest way to check? Usually in a situation like that, I will do telnet to the port. Okay. So I will do this. Try to open the gateway again. The gateway even don't want to talk to me. So I will go here from the management first. So I will do, we receive 18191, okay? Telnet 10.1.1.104, that's the IP address of the gateway, port 18191. It tells me talk to yourself. Okay? I will connect to the management while we do this. So it's not connecting on this port, so definitely the gateway is not playing nice. I go on the gateway. FW stat. They should have sorry. We do have a policy. Okay, so it means that for my policy, I'm supposed to be able to connect with SSH to it. Don't know why it's doing it. What is the other option to see if I'm dropping traffic? FWCTL. Zdebug plus drop. And now we'll trigger connection. And we can see that it's been dropped by rule 1. Let's filter. Sorry. Pipe grep 18191. Initiate connection again. We can see packet was dropped by rule base on rule 1. It should not be dropped on rule base. This should be covering the implied rules. All the traffic for checkpoint 257, 18192, everything. All should be in the. We should not even see it dropped by the rule base. Okay. So usually it's the customer wants to they don't like the implied rules, and they uncheck the checkbox, and all the rest, the fun, So, but to get the customer, to save the customer from this situation, unless I will be altering the rule base on the gateway, I'm not going to do it for him. He will have to unload the policy and reload it back. Okay, so he will have to do FW unload local on the gateway and load it back. So FW. I want to show you. I'm creating you like something nicer. And load local. I will try to. If I go with this, should be able to push the policy, even if I have this drop in place. Let's leave it like that. That's why, FYI, that's why it's dropping my SSH, because I have a drop rule. That's the only thing I have installed on it. I will change it to accept. If it will be accept, it will drop me anyway. So it will, meaning allow my traffic to. Now I will create something nice for you to show you something. The first scenario was clear. We saw that traffic is not getting to the destination. Here I'm doing something nicer. CP CA client LS out. And I want this to be revoked. I'm trying to. Minus S, it will be this. And it will be CPM GMT, also this. And where is another MGMT? Also this. Failed? On what? Okay, X is fine, threat failed. I don't care about the threat right now. So if I will do this, I will just install again. Okay, I was not able to reproduce what I wanted to, but you get here 147, okay? What usually you're going to get in a situation like that, usually it happens more in multi-domain environment. The reason it happens there, because in a multi-domain environment, if your certificate is not, of your management is revoked, you're still able to connect to your management. If I will do CP stop, CP start just to you know what? I will try to do it in another way. CPD. Give me a second. CPWD. FWM, if I will restart it and you will find that the certificate is revoked, you was not able to connect to the smart console in a regular smart center. But in a multi-domain, even though your management certificate revoked, it can be that the CMA, because we're using a token of the MDS to connect to the CMA, it will still allow you to connect to the smart console. I just don't have an environment ready. And then you will get 147, but in the policy installation, and you will think that your SIG is broken. You renew SIG multiple times with the gateway, but the problem is nothing happened. You still get 147. If you check behind the scenes, you see that your management certificate was revoked on the management, and that's why you are not able to push certificate to your to push SIG to your gateway, because your management has invalid certificate and is not able to. That's what I was trying to show you here. Any questions so far? Next
No,
one.
good.
Next one is, I think this is the last scenario for today. Yeah, it is the last scenario. And then we're going to finish the slides. This is also no S case, but I'll let you guys work with me on it. No SK, just someone put there used to be an SK. Again, I don't care about the solution, I care about the way. Now, most of the problems with accelerated policy is that they are not happening. That's the problems that we see. The problems that are happening during the policy installation is that if we do policy installation and there is it fails because that it fails usually and it tells you that the unexpected error happens, and you need to do it as you know, just someone was knocking in the door and it took me out of concentration. I don't know what is going on with the network here. It just disconnects from the LAN. So I apologize in advance. And let me just reshare my screen. Okay, so that's our issue. So the issue is potentially on the gateway. As we saw before, when we get an error code, usually it's on the gateway side. And sometimes you will see that the error code עצומה.
You're muted, I think.
Yeah. I just called to someone to tell them that they need to fix the network. It's like it's in the LAN, it's from somewhere in the switch that I'm connected to it. You guys can hear me?
Yes, now.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's someone, from the switch that I'm connected to it, just drops me from the network. So let me share my screen again. So I ask someone to fix it behind the scenes during the break. Or try to fix it. Okay. So as we explained before, the error is on the gateway side because we get an error code. 99% it's going to be there. Let's you want to script it? Yeah, script it. So if I do script it, FWD, or you can do it just FYI MDS FWD. The same. Script and policy -O. Yes. Now I want to talk about after that about slow installation policy to show you how do you know if you're slow or not slow. We'll take one. So this actually will not be so helpful for me. I forgot because it's a gateway site. Yeah. Because when you get an error on that's my mistake. Since when you get error on the gateway side, you have to debug it there. The management script will not help. So if we take the error code that we get, and the error is 171 in the end, so I put here 171. Okay, tells me that user mode. So this is actually easy. Take those two, copy them here real quick to the gateway side. And take the fetch debug. This one. Oh, it's always the definition. If it's a management side, then I'm going to look at I use the script. Easy, I get everything collected. On the gateway side, we could potentially use the script there, but I usually do that manually. So if I go here, install Shift G, and then I search for what? Error. You can see that until here, stuff looks okay. And then I'm looking above. Always I look at the error and start to go up. So CPMI loader parser is parse load blah blah blah, but before that is trying to read this file. We are about to decrypt this and this and this. Here we can see after this blah 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 parser is not initiator, so loading this, going to read blah 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 blah, need to decrypt true, try to clear it through, blah blah blah, and then we are about to decrypt this, FW read table, this is irrelevant. That when they're trying to read the file, they get an error. So the parser failed. In this way is actually, there was an SK that actually asking you to get me. The thing is to get to is to try to find how to identify that this is the problem and not something else. Because if I look here, that's only the error in the user mode. There is no other errors. So if your problem is in the user mode and you not look in the kernel, you will search for fail or error. Here you will in the user mode most of the time you will search for error, and right above, couple of lines before this is where the problem is happening. So in this one is just get a clear file. I move the file to the home directory to resolve that. Okay. So let's take a 10 minutes break. We come back, refresh. We will talk about policy, timing debug, and how we know if